Welcome.
The Cop in the Hat. The sun did not shine. We were too tired to play. So we sat in the mud all that cold, cold, wet day. I sat there with Sally because we did not have rent. And I said how I wish we had some kind of tent. Too wet to move and too cold to lie. So we sat on the riverbank and had a good cry. All we did was sit, sit, sit. And we did not like it, not one little bit. Then someone said, "Hey." How that hey made us say, "Who was that?" We looked and we saw him, the cop in the hat. And he said, "Why do you sit there in the mud like that? It's against the law," said the cop in the hat. "How dare you sit there all cold, wet, and muddy? How dare you sit there when it's not even sunny?" "But you took our tent, so we sit in the mud. You took all we have, so we sit in the crud." So there we sat, and my feet were so numb. There we sat, and I felt kind of dumb, said the cop in the hat. "I took your tent so you would learn not to be homeless." And that was such a burn. He made us feel low, that cop in the hat. He made us feel down like a filthy rat. Then he said we should move or get arrested, and he kicked some mud in my face that I accidentally digested. I swallowed the mud and it ran into my tummy. I started to gag as it felt mighty crummy. I threw up on the shoe of the cop in the hat, and he yelled, "I gave you a chance, but that's that." He called on his radio that he needed some aid because the homeless encampment needed a raid. The cops stopped what they were doing and turned around and rushed in to get us for living on the ground. They came from far and wide with sirens wailing. They came over the fences and across the railing. There were cops from the city and cops from the county. They were all rushing in like we were top bounty. There were cops and choppers and code people too. There were lots of them, and we were just few. Now, drunk drivers drive and rapists do thrive. Fraud is widespread and murder makes you dead. Kidnappers are nabbing and stabbers are stabbing. Forgery, child abuse, and theft is rampant. But the police are out here tearing apart our encampment. They grabbed everyone and took us away. I really didn't have the strength left to say, but I wheezed out, "Why are you doing this to us? Why are we worth this whole giant fuss?" The cop in the hat said with a grin, "It's my job, you fool," and kicked me in the shin. They loaded us up and took us away. Then they let us out of jail the very next day. Sally and I looked at each other as we stood by the river, and the cold went through us with a shiver. I took her hand and she took mine. I started to cry, and she said not to whine. Then someone yelled, "Hey!" That hey made us say, "Who was that?" We looked and we saw him, the cop in the hat. Here's this yard.